Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dirt Hub All British Motocross Podcast with myself, Ben Rumbold, and Paul Ooten, boss of Dirt Hub, just reviewing the Hawkstone Park opening round of the Motul ACU British Motocross Championship. And of course, yeah, MXGP of Sardinia has just happened, and Monster Energy MXGP of Trentino is just about to happen. So, yeah, lots going on, and of course, Scottish Championship this weekend. So, yeah, with me as ever is Paul Ooten to discuss events, British Motocross and its place in the world. But yeah, how's it looking for your end, Paul? Busy weekend, wasn't it, with Hawkstone and everything, and then the weekend just gone?
Yeah, it's really ramped up now. So now it's flat out times for me, to be fair.
Full gas.
Yeah, Enduro, tons of Enduro GPs kicked off as well. British Extreme Enduro, AMCA British Championship of the weekend, Bridgestone British Masters, Eastern Centre, Motocross as well. A lot of the classic stuff sort of kicks off at Easter as well. So loads going on, always flat out, as you know. Don't like to be quiet. But yeah, Hawkston, mate. Hawkston, I did enjoy it. Obviously, you were there
Yeah.
commentating, doing your stuff. I was watching the live stream, um, which was good. You know, it was definitely better. The live stream was definitely better than it has been in the past. Did get to see sort of times on the screen and stuff like that. So, which does make a massive difference. I still like to watch the live timing as well, to be fair, because I think you can read a lot from that. But yeah, you know, enjoyed seeing the fact that the sun was out at Hawkstone
Mm.
Park. And you know, it did look like a fairly decent crowd there. And the racing, you know, seemed pretty darn good. And I have to say, from an MX2, which we will delve into first, I think there was a couple of results there that I think we needed for the Brits. Two riders, Bobby Bruce and Billy Askew, both have had a tough EMX 250 start to the year. So for them to both notch up race wins, I think is probably a result the sport needed, really, and they needed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you say, EMX has been pretty disastrous. The Spanish race was obviously it was muddy, it was the lottery, but Ollie Colmer carved out a result there. And yeah, it's got to be fair that Bobby Bruce and Billy Askew both had a nightmare. But in France, they also were probably disappointed with their days. But yeah, to go to Hawkstone and be as good as they were, and they were fast. You know, it's obviously it's not the same level of competition as they have in Europe, but it is still, you've still got Tommy Serlin there, you've still got a fair old pack of riders getting stuck in. So to see Bobby win and then also to see Billy win was great. So yeah, both under 21 riders, both in that under 21 series. Yeah, it's looking good. Although I don't think Bobby's registered in the under 21s for some reason. He didn't get the trophy on the day. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. But then I've since seen a post saying that Bobby leads the under 21 championship. So maybe somebody in the team went, hang on a minute, Bobby qualifies for that. If there's another first place trophy going, I don't know. But yeah, either way, they won the whole race. They both won the races there. So Tommy had a run at the end. Looked like he could have perhaps gone on a bit of a run until he stalled in a corner. And yeah, that sort of put paid to his charge because he just got past Bobby Bruce in that second race, and then was looking like he might try and take some lumps out of Billy. But to be fair, I think he would have had a real job on his hands to do that, and it didn't matter to the overall result anyway, because well, he would have had to have won to have claimed the overall win. But yeah, how it goes, Bobby rode brilliantly. Billy also had a first corner crash in race one, without which he could well have been in the overall picture as well. So to be just 7 points down on the championship lead for Billy is spot on. And yeah, all in all, even just behind that, again, three more young riders just behind him: Ben Musto, Ollie Colmer, Charlie Heyman, rounding out the top six. So that's really good for the youth of the UK. And not to sound harsh to a team that I know is a fan of this podcast, the Gabriel boys. Kian Dunson had a very rough second race after a solid third. He then ended up 17th in race two. And then obviously out of it for the overall. And also Max Werner unfortunately dislocated his shoulder in the practice sessions. So yeah, that made it very tough for them. But if you're patriotic and waving the flag, then our boys doing well is a good thing.
Yeah, and I think that first race, I'm a bit of a lap time geek, and Billy Askew's lap times coming through the field, he was rapid.
Yeah,
Like you could sense that based on that, Moto 2, if he made his start, he was going to be a contender. And
yeah. To get up to
obviously,
sixth, it was a great ride. He really did carve through them. I mean, there were two or three guys all battling together. I think it was Glenn McCormick, Charlie Heyman, and actually just shy of getting through to the Glenn McCormick and Ollie Colmer. That's right, all Chambers dice, and Billy came through, and Josh Vale as well on his debut, which was good considering he's coming back from a broken collarbone. Josh Vale was also impressive, but yeah, Billy was very how should I say, efficient in getting through the traffic, and getting back up to sixth from as far back as he was a damn good ride.
yeah, and I think there's a lot of, I'm just looking down this list here. Bobby Bruce, super positive. Tommy Searle, got to be happy with that. He's still there, he's still in the mix. Billy Askew, superb. Second moto. Ben Musto, two good motos. Ollie Colmer, two good motos. Charlie Heyman, solid, sixth overall. Glenn McCormack, he's got to be really happy with that. He's had a great start to the year. The top 7 riders, I think, are pretty content with where they came.
Yeah,
And a couple of them, it's, more than content. I think it's really given them a boost. We
yeah,
get the guy in Doomson, like you said, it'd been a real tough start for Sean Simpson's team. Now, you know how to say his name, the Spanish guy
who's
who's
Spanish guy?
signed for Gabriel for the next couple of GPs.
Oh, okay,
You
this
know,
is news. Oh, yeah,
here we go.
ah,
Um,
you got the run on me.
Oriol Oliver.
Oh, Oriol there.
Yeah, so he signed
Oh,
with immediate effect then to replace Max Werner in
wow,
the next 2 MX2 rounds in Arco and Switzerland.
wow. So he's coming across from BTS. That's interesting. Okay, very
Yeah.
wow. Okay, well, yeah, breaking news. I
So
heard it
it's
here
not,
first.
it's not going to impact the return of Max Werner.
Yeah,
But when I first saw it, I was thinking, wow, if he comes into the British Championship, like that is because he's a guy that has scored points, MX2 points, which we haven't really got anybody at the moment that
yeah.
consistently scores MX2 points. But
We haven't got
yeah,
anybody because he races MX2 at the
well,
minute.
no, that's it. So we've got that as well. But yeah, it looks like it's just for a short term uh, deal. But
Interesting.
who knows? Who knows? On that one.
Mm, yeah,
But Ryan,
he's
like I
very
said,
fast.
looked good in the first moto. He looked racy, looked
Yeah.
like he definitely got it. So I don't think we've you know I think he's still going to be on the box in one of the next few rounds.
Oh yeah, we've not heard the last of Guian. He's a determined kid, nice kid to talk to as well. He spoke to us on the post race show as you saw, and yeah, Guian is a keen rider, and it's interesting to see him go up against Tommy Searle. It's just so bizarre because like as a Dutch kid, he used to cheer on Jeffrey against Tommy, and now he's racing him, which is just bizarre. But yeah, even so, yeah, he's entertaining to watch. It's good that he's in the British Championship. He shows us kind of the level because he was right in the mix with for the EMX 125 Championship last year. So yeah, and he's desperately trying to get up into EMX 250. But yeah, for the rest of the kids, I mean, yeah, taking it slightly below the guys we've mentioned there, James Barker, two great rides, 10th and 9th for 10th overall. From a pretty disastrous 2024 season when it looked like he might drop off the radar somewhat. He's come back in there to clock 10th overall, which is fantastic. He's ahead of Callum Mitchell there, ahead of Josh Vale. Again, Josh coming back from injury, but ahead of most of the people he would be expecting to be ahead of if he was having a good day, and that's where it is. So yeah, no, he's really cool. Perhaps the biggest disappointment might have been Florian Mio. He was only 11th in race 1 and then disappeared in race 2. So yeah, that one would have been disappointing for the SC Sport Homes team. Sorry, for the SAS TPC KTM team. But yeah, either way, uh, it was good to watch. Good to watch was Hawkstone, and yeah, we came away with a bit of a more optimistic view of how the British riders are doing, and just hoping they can carry it on to Trentino this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Just one more rider in that top 10 than Jake Nichols. Then yeah, he showed in the second moto he's still got it to be around that, fifth, sixth sort of mark maybe, and possibly on a good day he
Oh
could
yeah, I
go
mean,
there.
he, he went down in the same first corner incident as Billy Askew in the first corner. The pair of them came together, were in a heap, and he came through to 14th. And then he took a decent start and maintained the rhythm to be fifth in race two. So yeah, certainly still plenty of speed. This is a rider who was in a smidgen of winning an MX2 Grand Prix back in the day. So he's no mug whatsoever, and he's solid around Hawkstone. So Jake is there as a to give full respect to him as a yardstick for the other riders. If the kids can come in and compete with somebody like Jake Nichols on a level, they know that they are up there and in a position to move further on.
Yeah, and just looking at this, we've got Bobby, Tommy, Billy, and in terms of, points as well, those guys are the only ones that have racked up 40 points or more.
Yeah.
Do you see, maybe with Guy in there as well, do you see that sort of four riders starting to edge clear? Because, these guys, obviously, Bobby, Billy, and Guyan are riding EMX 250.
Yeah.
Tommy's obviously got tons and tons of experience. Do you see these guys sort of edging ahead a little bit of the rest?
Doing EMX 250 will naturally raise their pace. I mean, Ollie Colmer said to us in the post-race show there that the EMX 250 pack is just crazy, and it really is. When you watch it live, it's just watching it on TV doesn't do it justice because you don't see the mid pack, and the mid pack is just a dogfight. It's a real education for this is what world level racing is going to be, and those guys in the middle of there. I mean, even Ollie said as a comparison, the British was just far more chilled out. You could actually ride to your own devices really. So yeah, I mean that is for sure going to help them out. I would be very happy to see Ben Musto take that on as well, because I think that would give him the necessary step to get onto the podium on a regular basis. You see now Ollie Colmer's 1 point behind Ben Musto. Ollie is committed to EMX because he's there with the Chambers team who are going anyway with Adam Sterry. So Ollie there is going to get that full season in Europe, and you see the difference between the two develop through the year. Ben is going to have to work very hard to advance through the season. Same with Charlie Heyman. Those two riders are not doing EMX 250, so let's see how they develop through the year against somebody who is doing EMX 250 like Ollie. And then, to be honest, we just want to see Billy and Bobby at the front end in Europe. That's what I want to see now. It's like, come on, you're winning British level, which was where Caspar was last year, who was EMX 250 top runner, third place overall. And Cass is now challenging EMX, challenging the EMX 2 top 5, 6. So, that's where they need to be. And it would be really, really cool to see them gain the confidence in the UK, take that confidence to Europe, develop the speed, get good starts, get up to that top level, and stick it out at the top 5 or 6 in Europe would be amazing. And that's really what I would like to see as a British fan that hopes the young kids can have a future in world motocross.
Yeah, interesting. Talking of futures. So 125s before we move to MX1, let's have a look at the 125s. Ryan Wagger. And right, I'd say right here, I did say watch Ryan Wagger. I've seen his results. I think it was the Service and the Scottish, looking good. But to be fair, I didn't predict that. And the live stream gave Ryan some really good coverage, and Ryan looked unreal, to be fair. Because he had some good 125 kids, really really pushing him, but Ryan looked impressive.
Yeah, no, I mean, he moved ahead, moved, was it Hayden? Yeah, he moved past Hayden Stat in race 2, and I didn't expect that to happen. Hayden's been a solid 85cc rider throughout. Now on a 125, he's the same credentials: great starter, aggressive, full attack mode, and Hayden's a solid racer. So for Ryan to, he got the start in race 1, and other riders didn't, and he didn't really he didn't really have a threat. But well, you've got to complete the moto in that sense, which is not easy, as anybody who's led a race, especially a British Championship level race for the first time. Yeah, that's tough when you've got a lead like that, and you know that result is so close. You almost, the nerves when you're riding itself is just so tricky. But yeah, he did really well to do that. And then, but yeah, the second race impressed me more because he moved forward. He got past Hayden to get it up there, and yeah, he rode absolutely brilliantly. Did not see it coming. So fingers crossed. I mean, speaking to him there, he was saying that he's likely to, if he moves on to a 250, it will be a two-stroke variety. So he's obviously, him and his family are fans of that. If he's winning British Championship 125cc races, I would hope that he does take to the four-stroke because if he wants to get to the top level, that's where he needs to go. And I hope that he does do that. But we'll see. I mean, yeah, he was a good ride. It was a good ride for him. We'll see how the rest of the season pans out. But also Hayden, Freddie, Charlie, they all rode pretty well there, and Drew Stock as well had terrible starts. So for 2/5, Drew Stock would have been very happy with that, considering how he started. But he'll probably be disappointed with a 5/5.
Yeah, so we just run down the top 10 on that one. So Ryan Wagger went 1-1 for the win. Hayden Stack was second. Freddie Gardner third. Charlie Richmond fourth. Drew Stock fifth. Lucas Moncrief sixth. He's had a good start to the year. Harry Lee seventh. Cameron Green, I'd say that. Greenham, eighth. Dane Stevens ninth, and Lewis Spratton 10th. So that was the top 10 of the 125cc class. Yeah, so again, good for the future. How did you see the 125 class? Was it well received? And before we get to that, just want to ask you about the LCQ on MX2. What was that like?
It was good. Yeah, it was pretty manic. I mean, I can't quite remember who was in it now. But yeah, I know that George Hopkins was in there because he's always a fast starter, the number 4, and he's on a Triumph now. So I do remember George having to battle it through. But yeah, a couple of riders fell short who would have been very disappointed with that. I think riders like Ollie Bubb for the Yamaha team there, that would have been a real shame for them. But yeah, just got the results here, the LCQ. So Tom Corneal, the Frenchman, just about came through to win it. I mean, he's a beach sand racer, so he should be quick in that sort of stuff. Callum Mira, who's got a lot of banter going on with Joe from Too Much Sauce. There's quite entertaining text messages going back and forth between them two. But yeah, Callum Mira just about edged in ahead of Ollie Bubb, and Charlie Griffiths got through. There's a lad called Whisper and Smith, who I must be honest, I've never seen before. And yeah, he was right up there in the early parts of the race. But yeah, he just, I think he just got a bit tired around Hawkstone Park, and sadly he dropped back. So that was unfortunate for him. Sydney Putnam probably would have been shocked not to have made it. But I think he had a crash. Harvey Cashmore also is trying to qualify in EMX 250 as well right now, and he wasn't up on the pace. So yeah, some disappointed kids would have left there after that, but it was an entertaining race. It was an extra element to the day, and yeah, we'll see how many more times we need the LCQ through the year. Hopefully, every round. But it was good. It was a good addition to the day. Lots of fun.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, hopefully we get those entries in, and we get that again. So yeah, like I said, it gives it another dimension. Talking about another dimension, Conrad Mewse.
Sorry, just a note on 125. We sort of went sideways there, and just to finish off on 125 before we get to MX1, if that's all right, is that yeah, I think Charlie Richmond would have been disappointed because he was by clearly the fastest rider in practice by a margin, and yeah, that would have been a real shame for him. So I hope that Charlie picks things up and does a few more EMX 125s because he raced in France. And I would love to see him at Trentino. I think he could do very well there. He's a hard pack rider. So yeah, I hope that the family, the team are committing to taking him to Trentino. And just on the subject of 125 racing, I think the rider that could have cleaned up completely would have been Jamie Keith, had he been riding it. Of course, he had broke his collarbone in Spain, and then massive misfortune. I think from now on, he's not going to do any practice laps at these events. He's just going to go straight in and just start the race, even if he has last gate pick or something, because he just, yeah, it was on the second sighting lap in Sardinia, crashed and broke his other collarbone. So Jamie just having a real nightmare in these sort of non-racing crashes. And yeah, we just hope that he can get things together to, well, he went straight to the surgeon to get it fixed. So just a note for Jamie Keith and the family there. I know we're absolutely distraught after this. And yeah, we all wanted to see Jamie do well in Europe, but it's not worked out very well at the beginning. We just hope that he can recover, um, stick around with that team and yeah, deliver some good results. We just hope for the best for him, really.
Yeah, no, absolute shame. Like you said, a rider that, yeah, it's just his season. When you looked at the winter, everything, his dreams were coming true. Great deal with the Yamaha team there, and yeah, just a fantastic 2024, and it's just not gone to plan. But you know what? He's a tough lad, and I think he just needs a couple of good, like we were saying with Freddie and with get there in a minute with Bobby and Billy. A good result under their belt will just make the world of difference.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, MX1. Wow.
MX1, Conrad Mewse. That's what I was saying. Conrad Mewse, yeah, made it interesting.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't all Conrad. It wasn't the Conrad show. The most surprising, I think, the most eyebrow raising result was in qualifying, and that Adam Sterry put in a lap early on that was about a second and a half quicker than anybody, and it was a really good performance from Adam, and to come in. I can imagine Conrad would not have been too happy to see somebody else above him in the practice laps times. So yeah, but then he responded with just incredible pace during the races. I mean, because it was dry, it didn't get as deep and as gnarly perhaps as it has done in the international. So for sure, that's where Conrad really shines. And the rougher it got, the faster he went. I mean, his lap times didn't dip, I think, through the race. I mean, you probably studied them more than I did, but I think, yeah, looking at the lap times there, Conrad almost sometimes went quicker because he could start doubling the braking bumps and things like this. So that's where he really started to pour on the pace. And yeah, he came from over 10 seconds back in both races to catch and pass Adam. I think it would have been interesting if Josh hadn't crashed in race two, because Josh was really starting to feel it in the second race in terms of feeling better. He passed Adam. He felt like he had more pace than Sterry in that part of the race. He said to himself on the podium, and he found a sweet line that gave him an inside line and quite an advantage that built up for the pass. And then the next lap, this line just like broke away and led him into a big river or something. He said into like this. He suddenly found himself in a massive puddle and almost got stuck for good. So yeah, he lost the lead. And then yeah, when Conrad came through, that was kind of it for the race win for him. But yeah, it was good to see Josh picking up the pace there, and hopefully he can pick that back up in future rounds to make it more of a three rider fight at the top.
Yeah, and that was something on an Adam Sterry interview. Adam Sterry sort of said that these three riders are that different level, and I suppose you would say that because Adam and obviously Josh are riding GPs.
Yeah,
Adam had
Conrad's good enough to
really
race GPs.
exactly. Adam had a great weekend last weekend as well, didn't he?
Yeah, really well.
So those three are that little level above. So you expect the title fight to be between those three. Which it was obviously Conrad with the win, Adam Sterry second, Josh Gilbert third. Although Tristan Purden did get the third in the first moto.
Yeah, rode really well.
Yeah, it looked good, and then had misfortune in the second moto, which was a big shame for him. But coming through in fourth, and it's been a really good year so far for Jamie Carpenter, because he's been through the mill with we've documented it well before, spoke to him about it. Jamie Carpenter has been through teams like I don't know how to phrase it with. I was going to
Yeah,
say something else, which is probably not politically correct, so I won't say that. So Jamie Carpenter's been through the mill with teams, but now he's settled with the Crendon team. He's had some good results in other championships as well, and a fourth for him. I think speaking to him when we interviewed him before, a fourth is exactly what he'd be hoping for. And
yeah,
but he also did say that one position more in one of the races, I think it was the first race, would have meant he would have got that podium. I think because it was, I suppose it was one position. If he stayed ahead of Josh, then I
Yeah.
think he might well have.
You'd have had to pass Josh in race two to got on the podium. But yeah, because
Either way, he was close to it, and
he was close. Yeah, he was one position away. Yeah,
yeah,
if things fall right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
he's right.
and
Yeah, I mean, and there's solid riding. I mean, he's in there competing with the likes of Brad Todd, John Adamson. They were all scrapping it out, and a great, a really good battle to watch as well. Jason Mira, I thought might be in the mix there, but he didn't seem to have the best of weekends. So yeah, for Jamie to get up there, that's absolutely solid. So yeah, one rider who really did surprise me and did so well was Ben Edwards. I mean, what a great ride for him! 7th overall with a fifth in race two. 11.5 scorecard. But yeah, sorry, 11.6 scorecard. He was sixth in race two, but I mean, Brad Todd only just got him at the end, and it was a really good scrap. He really did get stuck in, did Ben? So that was really good to see a new name up there. And yeah, he certainly got stuck in, finishing ahead of Martin Barr at Hawkstone Park. I mean, yeah, Martin was beaten up from the first race crash because that was a humdinger.
yeah,
But yeah, he recovered, as Martin is typically tough enough to do. But for Ben Edwards, it was a wonderful result.
yeah. No, great result for Ben for sure. Just looking down this, so Ben Edwards we have Brad Todd fifth again. That is what Brad wanted. I think he would take
Yeah,
that all day long. Obviously he's fifth in the stands from 2024. He would take that. John Adamson, the bruiser, sixth.
bruised. He was the bruised. He
He
looked
looked like a bruiser though, didn't he?
well. He had black eyes and broken nose from a crash at Jake Nichols's track, I think it was. And yeah, he was still looking puffy eyed when I saw him in Sardinia. But yeah, he's to come through with what he had, then sixth overall is pretty decent, especially considering, in truthfulness, although he says he's a sand rider, I think he's better on the hard pack. But yeah.
Here we go. So John Adamson sixth, Ben Edwards seventh, Carlton Husband, some good rides in the eighth, Jason Mira in ninth, Matteo Mio in 10th.
As Brad called Matteo Mio, the French sausage on his on his vlog.
Right.
Yeah, he got taken out of the.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, he stuffed up the inside of him on the opening lap of race two, and yeah, messed up the start for Brad because he was right at the front at one point. But yeah, so that was entertaining. Liam Knight rode well, 12th overall on his return to that level. He was that's no mean feat. John Rizzi will be disappointed. He didn't really have the pace, and whether that was down to bike confidence himself, I really don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough year for Joel because obviously we spoke to him one of the early shows, one of our first shows. We spoke to Joel, and he was just brimming with confidence. And after last year, he's one rider that really does need some good races under his belt. And yeah, it must be tough for a young rider being in that development sort of role, really, when potentially you could see him winning MX2. So yeah, a bit of a tough pill for him. So hopefully he can sort that out. One rider, Chris Mills, who had a storming start. Was he the whole shot?
Yeah, he did get the whole shot. I think it was the first race. Yeah, he rode really well there because I was trying to pick through the trees. It's a tricky spot in Hawkstone for the commentary for the start because you can't really easily see, and I wasn't getting the live stream piped to me upstairs. So yeah, peering through the trees, just about who's that guy in the black and blue? Because I'd sort of, I had the trick of trying to memorize who's wearing what colours as they go up to the start line of Hawkstone. So you can peer through the trees and say, the guy in red, well, that's Conrad or something like that. Of course, Conrad and Jamie Carpenter didn't help me by wearing identical kit in both races. So thanks, guys. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, it was tricky to pick out. So who's the guy in the Yamaha? But yeah, he was really right up there, and that was great. It's yeah, great start, and he did fade a little bit, which was a shame. But yeah, still, if he gets those sort of starts elsewhere, he can really get some good results. Certainly, top 10 is capable of.
No, for sure. And now a bit of a gap, really. So we have about another 4 or 5 weeks before round 2.
Yeah, Canada Heights. So yeah, I expect for Joel Rizzi to put some work in to get that bike up together. We might see Tom Grimshaw back. I don't know. I think he's He's training with the shoulder now. Don't know about riding, but yeah, it'd be good to see Tom back up there. And yeah, everybody else, I think for those who are doing GPs, I think Adam and Josh will be like GPs can go either way. They'll either build you a pace or they'll beat you up. And I think now both Adam and Josh are in that kind of position where it will build them up. They will get better because yeah, they're just that little bit more seasoned with it, less nervous. Josh is particularly is visibly less nervous than he was last year at the races, I feel. He was even laughing at me singing along to Nessun Dorma on the walk into the track at Sardinia, which was quite a good laugh. But yeah, he's definitely looking more like it. Results weren't there at Sardinia, but mentally, I think he's in a better place than he was last year. So hopefully the GPs this time will bring him on rather than beat him up. And when he gets to the hard pack tracks, Calder Heights, Landrake for him later in the year is a real beauty. So yeah, I think it's going to be. I think Josh has got potential, especially in the hard pack tracks to come.
Cool. And going into this weekend, it is the Scottish Championship.
Yeah,
next round, then we were going to have the next round of the Nora Pro Championship, but that's been postponed. So it is right now in October. So that was Oathhanger, a bit of a military issue there with the venue. So that's been moved. But we have Good Friday, then the Hut Cup, the Mike Brown Memorial meeting at Marshfield. My favourite event of the year, to be fair. Good Friday for me. It was cancelled last year, wasn't it? Through rain. So it's been a couple of years since we've been there. Always a good lineup. I don't know who will rock up this year. Conrad's been there before. Josh has been there before. Todd Kellett always rocks up and makes a good showing at that one. So that would be good.
Yeah, there is a GP on that weekend with both EMX 125 and the EMX 250 races. So I would expect most of the British lads who've been doing that to go to Switzerland and race in that series. So yeah, you probably won't see Josh or Adam there. But yeah, you might see Conrad. I think Conrad does that sort of thing because it's quite local to him. So yeah, for sure it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much wraps that up, mate. And I know you've got to head. When are you heading? You've got
tomorrow morning off to Trentino, Monster Energy MXGP of Trentino. Yeah, it's one of the busiest weekends of the year. Ducati are coming through with Antonio Cairoli on their bike, so that's going to make it even more busy. And yeah, it's just they play the Italian national anthem at the start of the day, and they go straight into Nessun Dorma with Pavarotti singing it, and it sends chills through your spine because it's just brilliant. And that backdrop, you know, Trentino is just beautiful, and yeah, it's a hell of a GP to come, especially in MX2. It's just an absolute cat fight, and it's awesome to watch. So yeah, can't wait for it.
Cool. I look forward as well seeing our Brits in MXGP and quite a few in EMX as well. Yeah. So yeah, MXGP.tv, mate. That's the place to be for that one.
Good stuff. So yeah, that's it from ourselves. So yeah, hope you keep up with the racing, enjoy that, and we'll be back with you very soon on the All British Motocross Podcast from Dirt Hub. So for myself, Ben, and Paul Ooten, we will see you next time. Thanks for listening.